Hello boys and girls, welcome to another EVS class. Hope you're all staying healthy and safe and are enjoying learning from home. Today we are going to look at unit number 9, page number 128 in your Learning Ladders book. The title of the lesson is Clean Surroundings. So before I get into the topic, let me ask you a question. How many of you would like your surroundings to be clean? Let me guess, all of you. All of us would want our surroundings to be clean. Now imagine this with me. Your room is very messy. When you get into the room, you see that your bed is not made. And then you have strewn all your clothes and some of your books on the bed. And when you look at the floor, there are so many toys out there just lying on the floor. And then you also notice a banana peel on the floor. And then there is leftover food from last evening. How do you think your room is looking? Nobody wants to be spending time in a room like that, so you would want to clean it up. This is not just the case with a room, but also with regards to your home. You have to keep your home clean and neat. And that is the same case with your surroundings. You have to also, as responsible adults and children, have to take care of your environment and the surroundings and keep it clean and neat. That's what this chapter is about. We also see that we produce a lot of waste materials in our kitchens, in our houses, offices and factories. What do we do with all these waste materials? If we do not dispose them responsibly, then it will harm our environment. If the waste is not disposed properly, it may become a breeding ground for various harmful insects and germs. Some of the common diseases that spread due to unhygienic surroundings are typhoid, cholera and diarrhea. So it's very important for us to keep our surroundings clean, and not only that, but also dispose the waste in a responsible manner. Now let's look at two types of waste. Waste materials can be broadly categorized as two types. One is a biodegradable waste and the second one is non-biodegradable. Let's look at biodegradable. Waste materials that decompose naturally and easily and mix with the soil and disappear over time are called biodegradable waste. Some of the examples are food, natural fabric, peels of fruits and vegetables, paper, leaves, human and animal excreta, eggshells, etc. The other type is non-biodegradable waste. It's just the opposite of biodegradable. So these kind of waste would not decompose very easily. They do not mix with the soil, they do not disappear over time. In fact, they remain there for years and years together. So it's very difficult to get rid of this kind of waste. Examples would be metals, aluminum foil, plastic materials, polythene bags, that's the reason it's banned in our country, glasses, etc. So these are examples of non-biodegradable waste. We have separate techniques to dispose of biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. Because of that, we have to make sure that at home itself, these wastes have to be segregated. So it's desirable that you have two dustbins at home, one green in color so that you can throw all your biodegradable waste, your food, paper, leaves, etc. into that green dustbin, and also have a blue dustbin so that you can throw all your non-biodegradable waste like plastic bottles or bags and things like that. Now let's look at how we can dispose of these two kinds of waste. When it comes to biodegradable waste, we can resort to something called as composting. Now this is where you make a pit, you put all the biodegradable waste in that and you cover it with soil. Over time it decomposes and becomes a good manure for the plants. So this is a very good way of disposing of your biodegradable waste. Non-biodegradable waste is a different story altogether. Now after we put all these waste into two different bins, what happens? The garbage collector would come home and collect all our waste materials, right? So he would come in a truck of the local municipal corporation and take all this garbage and dump it in the landfills. Now all this waste that he collects goes to a place called a landfill. A landfill is a site for the disposal of waste materials by burial, and it is the oldest form of waste management. So it is just a place where you put all the waste materials and then cover it with soil. So that is a landfill. So that is what happens to all the waste materials that get collected by the garbage collector. Now, biodegradable waste can be disposed at home itself by making a compost pit. If you have segregated your waste and your garbage collector comes and takes it, he can also separately dispose of the biodegradable waste and put the rest of it in the landfill. Sometimes all of this doesn't happen. What happens is, in an open area, all of the waste gets dumped. That's called open dumping. That is very harmful and not at all desirable. So haven't you come across such places where there is an open space and there's a lot of garbage there? It smells so bad and it is very, very unhygienic to do that. So let's not resort to doing that, but responsibly dispose of all our waste materials. Another way to dispose of non-biodegradable waste is incineration. It is a waste management treatment technique which involves the combustion of waste for recovering energy. So all the waste gets burnt in this process. That's another way to get rid of non-biodegradable waste. So when it comes to disposing of non-biodegradable waste, we have understood that it's not very easy because they do not just disappear very easily. We can burn it, we can bury it in soil, but it doesn't make sure that it goes away. So we have to take care of how we dispose of the non-biodegradable waste. And when we do that, keep in mind 3 R's. The first R is reduce. So one of the ways to manage non-biodegradable waste is to reduce it. Reduce the use of it. For example, stop using plastic bags and start using jute bags or cloth bags when you go for shopping. You can use glass bottles instead of plastic bottles to store water at home. So these are small measures we can take to reduce the use of non-biodegradable waste. The second R to remember is reuse. Yes, we can give our old clothes and old articles at home that are in good condition to people who need them, so that they don't have to spend on it, but at the same time our old stuff get used once again. So reusing is a very good method to manage the non-biodegradable waste. Instead of just throwing your old t-shirt into the dustbin, see if it is in a good condition and give it to somebody who can use it. The third R to remember is recycle. Recycling is the process by which waste materials are used to make new things. Many of the things that we use every day, like milk cartons or soda cans, all these things are made of materials that can be recycled, which means once it's used, it can be processed and made into something new. So we are not wasting any of those things. So recycling is another way to manage the non-biodegradable waste. So let's look at the 3 R's together: reduce, reuse and recycle. So that brings us to the end of the chapter. There is a portion called recall zone. So let me just read out all those important points. 1. A clean environment is very necessary to live a peaceful and healthy life. 2. The waste generated can be classified into 2 categories. What are those? Biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. 3. Different methods of waste disposal are open dumping, not good, landfill, composting and incineration. 4th, we should follow the 3 R's to control the production of non-biodegradable waste. What are those? Reduce, reuse and recycle. On page number 132, we have something called as the assessment zone. That is where you have a lot of questions based on this lesson that we have. So if you have read through and understood this lesson, it's very easy to answer these questions. So go ahead and answer those questions. The second section is choose and write the correct option. We have 6 questions in there. Again, there are options that are given. If you've understood this portion, it's very easy for you to answer this. I'll give you a couple of examples. 1. Dash color bin is used to collect the non-biodegradable waste. What is the color of the bin that you have to use for that? Green, blue, red. It is blue. Second one, dash is a good method of disposing biodegradable waste. Dumping, composting, landfill. We are talking about biodegradable, so obviously the best option is composting. The third section is true or false. Correct the false statements. So if it is a false statement, then you have to correct it and make it into a true statement. Fruit and vegetable peels are examples of biodegradable waste. That is a true statement. It is not important to keep our surroundings clean. That is a false statement. It is important for us to keep our surroundings clean. Likewise, there are 5 questions there. Go ahead and answer them. The next one is fill in the blanks with the words given in the box. There are some words that are given in the box. Wherever appropriate, fill in those blanks. 1. The 3 R's are, you know it already. What is that? Reduce, reuse and recycle. Likewise, there are 5 questions again. Go ahead and do that. Then there is a match the following section, and then there is choosing the right bin for the following waste. So as you can see, there are some pictures that are given of waste, and then the color of the bins are also given there, and you have to match. The right waste goes into the right dustbin. The last one is a fun one. Make a pencil stand using a used can or any plastic container. So this is something that you can find anywhere on YouTube. Check it out and see if you can do this activity. Thank you and see you soon.